Hi, this is David. This 2003 Chevy Cavalier was giving some tire noise. It sounded like maybe the tires were out of alignment. And so we took it into an alignment shop, and they found that the front wheel bearings were both bad, both worn. So in this video, we're going to take it apart and replace those bearing and hub assemblies. And I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you.
I gathered together the tools for this job. Just going to go over them briefly. 19mm 1/2" drive socket. Takes off the lug nuts. This one's very important. You have to have a 30mm deep well to take off the hub nut. And then for the bar, the biggest breaker bar you can find. I have a 24" here. The nut is torqued. For the calipers, 3/8" Allen socket. And for the hub assembly, there's a T55 Torx on there. So 3/8" drive. Got a breaker bar and ratchet here. And now to get the bearing assembly off, a set of chisels works really well on this. It's going to take a little while, but I've got a set of various size chisels and a hammer. And then for reassembly, since we're putting on bearings and such, it's good to use a torque wrench. I've got a very basic mechanical type torque wrench I've been using for years. This one goes up to 150 foot-pounds. And these tools right here will get the job done for you. Take a couple of hours, 3 hours maybe.
Okay, we've got the vehicle still on the ground, and that's important because we're going to have to break the hub nut, which is underneath here. So in this one, it's going to get under there and pry that off. And there's the hub nut. So we're going to get that, and also break the lug nuts, just break them lightly, and then lift it up. This hub nut is a 30mm deep well. And I'm using a, see the length here, 24" breaker bar, because this guy is torqued. And we're doing both of them, so we'll be repeating this on the other side. And I'm going to break the lug nuts. I won't show that. Okay, so we have it on some wood. Sit down on some pieces of wood. Alrighty. Off with the wheels. Okay, so the calipers have to come off. 3/8" Allen. 1/2" breaker bar. And one's broken loose. And there's another one down here. Second one down here that has to come off. Okay, we should be able to go to a ratchet now. Okay, little prying tool in here. Caliper has a tendency to be stuck a little bit to the rotor. Okay, now we're going to set this. We're going to hang this out of the way probably. We've got a piece of wire and hang this caliper up from the strut. We've got the caliper hung up out of the way. Just get it out of the way. And we'll slip the rotor off. And there's the hub assembly. Next up. There it goes, okay. Okay, so now we're going to get the rest of this, finished this hub nut. Which is a long nut, a long threaded. What I'm going to do here, I think.
Okay, so we have a three T55 bolts on here, headed bolts on this hub assembly, and there's some holes provided in the hub assembly, and you have to rotate it until you can get your T55 in there. Okay, I'm going to just tap this a little bit. I'm using a 1/2-inch breaker bar on this. Make sure it's in there good. Okay. Okay, let's have a change of plans. I happen to have a 24-inch breaker bar here. This is going to be stubborn. There it goes. But we're going to break the other two before we do that one and make that one any looser. Always a good idea to rotate these and not get one loose. It causes too much pressure on the other ones. Okay, there we go. It's nothing like a big breaker bar. And the last one. There it is. Okay, now that we have them started, we should be able to switch to a ratchet. And there it comes, number one. Stuck in here. And if you get a small chisel, start working it from the side. There's a little bit of an opening, a little place to get in here. And just maybe tap it from all three sides. Get it started. Okay, it's starting to move a little bit. A little bit bigger one here. Let's try to make it rotate. Let's go with a little slightly bigger one here. Okay, it just did break loose from up here now finally, so let's see if we can make it turn it a little bit. And there it is. Out of there. So here's our replacement part from Moog 513017-K. This is around $80. Comes with a new nut, a new axle nut, an O-ring, and a dust cover. So now we cleaned up the mating surfaces in here. and got some of the debris and rust out of there, and also put a little bit of grease around those surfaces. So now we're just going to install the new bearing and hub assembly. So we're just going to slip the new assembly over on the spline on this CV joint. And we'll let the hardware do the rest. Okay, looks like we just going to tap this slightly here. There, lined up. Okay, we started this by hand, just to make sure we can cross-thread it. It's only turning it so far. I'm going to get started on the other side. I'll get it just to where it's touching the assembly there. Now we'll turn this and get the next one going here. And again, not a bad idea to start these by hand. If you run into any trouble whatsoever, back off, get it started right. Take our time, work our way around, even them up until they're seated all the way. And then we'll torque them. Okay, so we're going to torque these 3 to 70. And I'll do this in a few stages. Doing it now at about 40. Rotate it. Okay, there's 40. And that one's 40. And we'll finish it off when it's 70. 60 and 70. Okay, we're going to turn the hub nut on as far as we can by hand, which probably isn't going to be too far. And then we'll have to do the rest of it when we have it on the ground. Wow, it's already... Okay, so we have the rotor back on. So now we've got the caliper to put back on, hanging out over here for a while. We'll see if we can get away with putting this back on without compressing it. Okay, so torque up these Allen bolts on the brake caliper to 38 foot-pounds. And I'll just put the wheels back on and get it back on the ground. I'm not going to show the other side of this job, bearing on the other side, because it is identical. So one other thing I should mention, I did have to retract the piston on here using a C-clamp, you see there, in order to get it over there, and that's commonly the case because you have a worn ridge on the rotor. Okay, we're going to torque the axle out now with a 30mm deep well socket. 144 foot-pounds is the torque on that. I'm going to spin around again here. Happens to be about the limit on our wrench here, on our torque wrench. There. That took everything. And we have the lug nuts already torqued up to 100, so we should be ready to take this out for a test drive now. Okay, this job's all done. We took this Cavalier for a test drive, and all's quiet now. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video, get something out of it. Not a real difficult repair, couple 3 hours for an amateur mechanic. So good luck with it if you decide to do it, and thanks for watching.